Hi, and welcome to another edition of On the Spot. My name is Ronnie Wiley. To my right is John Duffy of the Woodcarvers Association. John, how are you, sir?
I am good, staying warm.
Yeah, I know we've got a little heat wave, but I think it's negative. When John said it was -2 now. It was, as of this taping, it was like -8 this morning. Terrible. Anyway, as we talk about warm things, this is some great work that we have here. Before we get into each individual piece, that I am amazed at the detail of it. Let's talk about wood carving and what does all that entail other than carving wood. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than just...
Okay. Well, the best we could narrow down, the Whitewater Valley Woodcarvers started right before 1989. Mm-hmm. One of our current members came on board in '89, and he said it was an organization before he started.
Okay.
So it's been around a while. I've been a member for 20 years, and we probably had 30 members back then, but a lot of them have passed on and moved away and whatnot. And since it's not digital media, we don't get a lot of interest in it other than, oh, that's neat, we'll have to try it, and then nobody does.
Right.
So the mission today is to enlighten people where we are, what we do, and just come hang out with us and have fun. The Woodcarvers are at the Whitewater Valley Art Association on Monday evenings, 6 to 8. And then I and usually another carver are there on Wednesdays, 2 to 6. So if you come down, we'll give you a free carving lesson or two. We'll teach you how to cut your fingers in 4 languages.
Yes.
We have lots of fun.
Yeah, I mentioned that's always fun.
So we really enjoy teaching. In fact, I have a family that just started since we set up our display, and they've got 2 young girls who have really taken an avid interest in it. So I always get excited when kids take an interest.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, I guess there's no age limit on joining the Woodcarvers Association.
If they can not fidget and follow instructions, they're good.
They're good.
If they fidget and like to gesture with your hands, that's not good, because we had one young man cut himself. Even after repeated warnings, put the knife down. You know, he liked to talk with his hands, and finally had to tell the grandmother maybe he should go play chess or something, because he's going to hurt himself. So it's not for everybody. I mean, we were playing with surgically sharp tools. And there is an element of danger. We do use Kevlar gloves to protect ourselves, but you know, if you play with sharp tools, you're going to get cut.
You're going to get sharp prizes. Yeah, absolutely. So, again, this is something that you have been a part of for 20 years, but prior to that, obviously, you've been carving wood. How long have you been a wood carver?
Well, I've carried a pocket knife since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
My grandfather was a butcher, so I knew how to sharpen it and keep it sharp and take care of it, and to not buy cheap tools. Always buy the best you can afford, and then take care of them. So I've been carving probably since I was 8 years old, just whittling on sticks and making things that little boys do, and got older and got a little more excited about it. And then one year I was at the Connersville Library, and I saw the Woodcarvers display in the atrium there. And I happened to know Bill Tremper at the time, who was a member. I called him and said, tell me about your club. At that time, we met at the Art Association up on 20th Street. It used to be the old Doc Haley print press up there. He says, just come on up and see. No, it was Duke Energy at that time. He says, come on down and see what we do. So I had one tool that was my grandfather's, and I had some less exciting tools that you spent more time sharpening than actually using. So I went down and spent 2 hours with him, and really enjoyed it. We had one lady there who was carving the little red bud flowers. Hers were a lot more delicate than mine, but if you have a red bud tree in your yard, you can make flowers that will last forever. You can dye them, paint them. We've got a guy in our club who's got a little wicker basket. It's probably got 50 of those shoved into it, and it's been beat up and thrown around, and it still looks good.
This would look real from a distance. I mean, it would look like a real flower.
Yeah, and you can color them.
Very nice.
A little essential oil on them, make them smell nice. My granddaughter carved one of those in about 5 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. How old is she?
She's 17 now, but she started carving about 7, 8 years old.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Got her
She would go around to all the events with me.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I went to one of their meetings and was pretty intrigued. He said, well, come back next week, and we'll have the carvers bring in some of their bragging stuff. So I went back the next week, and one of the carvers, rest his soul, he passed on, Rick Smelzer, brought in relief carvings. And the minute I saw his work, it was like a religious epiphany. It's like, I don't want to do this. I have to do this. There's no turning back. So from that moment on, for the first 5 years that I started actively carving, I'd be up till 2 o'clock in the morning. My wife would get up and raise cane with me. It's like, you got to work in the morning. I said, I'll make it. It's fine. It's good. If I wasn't carving, I was sharpening tools or reading articles or online tutorials. It's a very good addiction to have.
Yeah, I think so.
It really is. It's good for lowering blood pressure.
Yeah.
Creating focus. It'll teach you patience. One of the reasons people say, "Oh, I could never do that. I have no patience."
It teaches you.
I worked 20 years fast food. I had no patience.
Oh yeah, wow. That's
learned real quick. We'll do something like that in 2 hours. But when you start, you don't look at the clock.
Right. It's if you worked in fast food, especially in management, you definitely probably needed something to calm your nerves after a day of work.
It is great stress relief.
Yeah,
highly recommend it.
Wow. So now I see this magazine here. This is a national magazine.
Yes.
Woodcarvers magazine here, illustrated. Have you had any work in this magazine?
No.
Well, it should be. You should.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you should.
One of the things I like about that publication is every issue usually has free patterns, and Woodcarvers love free patterns.
Oh, yeah.
So, in a lot of tutorials.
Yeah.
And they also have a list of carving shows in the area, which sadly there aren't near as many. There used to be one in Dayton, which was the largest in the nation. I think they had probably close to 200 exhibitors.
Wow.
Wood vendors, tool
Where was
vendors.
That at?
They used to have it out at the airport, at the convention center out there. Yeah. And then they decided they needed their facility back, so they had to scramble. They moved it to Wilmington, which is 100 miles from here, but it was worth the drive. But sadly, the people who were doing the work to put the show on were getting into their 80s, and they were telling the younger members, "You guys need to step up. We can't keep doing it." And they finally drew a deadline and said 2019. If nobody steps up, it's going to be the last year. Thankfully, I was able to go to that for 19 of the 20 years I've been carving. And the first year, it was so incredible. It was so big, and different things interest different people. My wife does not like caricature carving.
Right.
I like it, but I don't do much of it just because I prefer the relief. But you would see something here, and you'd run over and look at it. Oh, that's cool. And you'd like a butterfly in a flower bed. You
can't stay in one place.
I couldn't drive home. She had to drive home. I was dumbstruck. I couldn't speak coherently. There was so much stuff. So I told her, next year we got to have a plan. So we did. So there are a few carving shows still in this area within about an hour and 15 minutes. There's one in Middletown. It's always the first weekend in March. If people want to attend that, I highly recommend it. Go to Miami Valley Woodcarvers on the internet. This year it's March 1st and 2nd. It's a great little show. They will have tool vendors there. So you'll see a lot of stuff that will inspire you to go, yeah, I can do that. I think I can do that. I want to do that.
Yeah, it does. It does look like, man, maybe I think I could do that. But this is like this pattern right here, or this right here of this covered bridge. I mean, there's so much integral parts to so much detail with this that when you're looking at it up close, it's like, wow.
This is where you spend money acquiring tools, because when you get into the detail, because some tools are fairly large.
Deep.
And you use these, you can push these, or you can use a mallet.
Yeah. I'm amazed at how, you can't really see, but how deep this is. It's almost 3D-ish.
Almost.
Yeah.
But when you get into that
looks 3D-ish
kind of detail, then you get into the brain surgery tools.
Yeah. Well, I need some of that. I actually know, because I don't have a brain. Oh, wow. That's, little.
Yeah, and sharp as could be.
Yeah, little,
And they come in different profiles, flat, V-shaped.
Yeah, I know you
rounded.
Can't see, but even this is so detailed. How it's amazing.
And then just keeping them sharp, and they work like a charm.
Yeah. Now, something like this, was this a pattern? Or?
That was a pattern.
Okay.
There's a carver. He used to be in New York. His name's Robert Statlander. He also has a website. I highly recommend it. He's a very good teacher. Yeah. And his patterns are ridiculously inexpensive. Just crazy cheap.
Yeah.
So if you like relief carvings, he's got a lot of those.
Now, you said relief carving. You mentioned it earlier. So this is is this a relief carving? Okay. Now, what is a relief carving?
You take a flat piece of wood and you relieve the design out of it.
Okay.
So unlike the little feller down there on the corner, that's carving in the round.
What? This little guy or this little?
On the far end,
This little guy right here. Oh.
Yeah, that's carving in the round.
Yeah. Like Santa's elf, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Relief is kind of two-dimensional
Right.
that looks three-dimensional.
Right. Yeah, it does. It really does look three-dimensional. Very much so. Very much so. And this little guy here, yeah, I can see that. So he was probably just, what, a block? And then you...
Actually, he started as a rough out. You could buy rough outs where they put it on a CNC machine, they cut out the rough design, and you add the details.
You add the details to it.
Now, that one I carved in a carving class that I took with a carver named Floyd Radigan.
Yeah.
He's a professional caricature carver who's been carving since he came back from Vietnam in 1975. I've never seen a man remove wood faster than this guy. I mean, you put it in, it's like a chainsaw. He just throws chips everywhere.
Wow. And
he's a great teacher, so I would recommend anybody interested in carving, if you get a chance to take a lesson with a professional, spend the money. It's not that much usually, and it's well worth the experience.
Can you paint on this?
Oh, yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that.
Yeah, I forgot to bring my lighthouse today. It was painted. I don't normally paint my stuff because I think it's wood and it kind of detracts from it.
Right.
You know, you can go to Hobby Lobby and get some plastic thing that's painted that looks just like that.
Yeah.
But
you want to
I do paint a few things, Christmas ornaments mostly.
So when do you feel like, okay, I'm done with this? Or do you ever really put it down, or do you have to force yourself, okay, I'm done?
You have to usually force yourself to put it down, and you'll putz with it till there's nothing left but a toothpick.
Right.
Yeah, it's real easy to overthink it. But one of the advice that Rick Smelser gave me when I started, he said, every now and then just put it down 3 feet away, put it down 6 feet away, look at it. If it looks good at those two distances, you're done.
You're done. Yeah. And good for you.
Because most people aren't going to see it any further than 6 feet away.
Right. Amazing stuff. Now, this right here, this one, I mean, at first when I saw it, I thought, well, it's kind of like a game board piece.
It's a quilt pattern. My mom was a quilter.
Okay.
So when I got into wood carving, and I discovered chip carving, and that only takes one tool to do that. And this one and the one over on the corner there only takes one tool. And I forgot to bring that with me. Apologize. So every time I would see a chip carving pattern, I'd say, Mom, this would make a good quilt pattern. So I happened to see this quilt pattern in one of her quilt books. It's like, I could carve that. So I photocopied it, drew it out, laid it out,
and so these were patterns that you put. Now, did you put the pattern on a like this pattern here? Did you put this on? I'm sure this wasn't this size or this.
I cut it that shape.
You cut that way, yeah, and then you put the
pattern on. Okay.
And that's neat.
And you can either do it with tracing paper, or what I prefer to do is just actually take rubber cement, put on the wood, lay the pattern on that, and you just basically carve through the pattern. That way your pattern doesn't move on you.
Yeah.
And when it's done, you peel it off. Boom.
This is so smooth. I mean, there's no...
That took some time.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can zoom in on it, Justin, but there's so much detail of that you don't really see from far away. It's amazing. Nice work. Thank you. On that. Did your mom ever do quilt patterns from these?
No, I mean, they had a lot of similar patterns. She was a member of the Connor Quilters who meet at the Art Association on Tuesdays from 9 to noon.
Is there a finish on this, or because
that one has lacquer.
Lacquer, okay, okay. And then this one, little spoon thing. Well, I'm just amazed. Does this have something on it?
That has beeswax.
Beeswax.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just looking at dates here. Man, I tell you, this is, and you can use this.
Oh yeah, that was a piece of scrap wood out of a construction dumpster.
Yeah.
Those are Welsh love spoons. So if you do come down to the Art Association, we've got like 20 different species of wood that you'll be amazed at the diversity.
So you don't see wasteful wood, you see potential works of art.
Something ready to happen. If you come down to the Art Association, you'll see a piece on my table. Yeah,
well, it's amazing. I like this, man. Gets me hungry.
I carve a lot of wooden spoons for friends.
And this is one that I was amazed at when you... The acorn, just cut that thing off. You said 4 cuts, right?
4 cuts.
Yeah.
You have to cut them when they're green.
Yeah.
And it makes a little picnic basket.
Yeah.
And ladies especially love those.
Yeah.
They're just cute.
That is neat. I mean, it's just amazing, all the stuff that you have on this. What, I mean, if somebody were, thinking about doing this, how do they get involved? I mean, with your association, how do they get involved?
Come see us. We're there Monday nights 6 to 8, Wednesdays 2 to 6. I have my email address on the card there if you want to put that up on screen.
Yeah.
Anybody's welcome to contact me. Just put wood carving in the subject line if you email me so it doesn't go to spam. Yeah. And I will happily blow up your inbox with more information than you probably ever wanted to know.
Ever want to know. jdcarves2@yahoo.com. That stands for John Duffy. jdcarves2@yahoo.com. Send this guy an email, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But, I tell you, what's amazing about this is, again, you see, like this, when you first put this on the table, I thought, he's going to tell me that this is just a regular piece. And then I got to looking at it, and this is actually something. I mean, this is actually something.
It's cottonwood bark, and they call that gnome homes or whimsical homes.
Yeah.
And
right here, the windows.
in Indiana, sometimes you get lucky and find some that's 1.5 inches thick, and because they sell that stuff online for like $10 a pound.
Yeah.
They sell it by the pound.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is something that you use as a Christmas decoration? Was that what you said?
We usually just display them. No, my mom had a little village.
Village,
that's
that's
a bunch
right.
of those.
Yeah.
And it was
That
really
is neat.
cute.
Because I didn't see, I mean, I just, the way it was set, and I just looked at this part, and I didn't see, wow, this is all carved out. I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, just the little details of this is just, it's just amazing, the layers of the roof line here. And I mean, wow, I wish I were, I was going to say I wish I were talented, but how much talent do you have to have?
Excellent question, because every time we display, people say, I can't do that, I don't have time. I said, you've got 24 hours in your day, you got time.
Yeah.
You're just not spending it right.
Right,
The work will wait.
Yeah.
Put the work offside. You need a mental health break, come down for 2 hours on a Monday night.
Yeah.
And you'll leave very fulfilled.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a bunch of people around you who want you to succeed, and they'll readily show you anything they want to know. People say, I don't have talent. You don't need talent. You don't need talent to ride a bike. You saw somebody do it, you wanted to do it.
Yeah, and you did it.
The more you want to do it, I tell people you need 2 ounces of what to do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. Now, something like this, something like this, and then comparative to this work right here, which, I mean, obviously, it's going to take me longer than 2 hours to get done.
Oh, yeah.
So, going down to an art association, I can just chip away 2 hours at a time until it's done.
I got a 15-year-old neighbor kid that's been going with me, and he's working on a relief carving. Of course, he picked one of the hardest patterns as his first project.
Oh, wow.
He's not getting frustrated. He's chipping away at it, no pun intended, but he's working at it.
I made it, pun intended.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and see, that goes back to what you were saying about patience. Patience is a virtue. Apparently, this is something that you definitely will teach you patience.
It will.
And get patience. And the creative process, as you're working on it, and I'm sure he's probably enjoying this, when he's seeing it come alive each week, put it down for a week, coming back, or a couple of days, or however long, and he realizes, well, I did make progress. I am making progress. I'm working. This is his very first project?
A relief carving was his first, but I've got pictures of his finished products. He carved Christmas ornaments for his family.
Yeah.
So I can get that up real quick. And was very proud of himself because he painted them, and he did all the work himself. The only part that I helped him with, I cut out the initial design and just kind of tutored him along the way.
Yeah, we can send that to
we'll send that
to John, and we'll put that in post-production. But I tell you, what I like about this, it's, like you said, anybody can do this if you have 2 ounces of
want to
do. Yeah, it's amazing. Tell me about the very first, I mean, what really drew you into, you said your grandfather, right, was what got you involved?
My grandfather showed me how to take care of a knife, keep it sharp, because a dull tool is dangerous and frustrating. Yeah. And it hurts worse when you cut yourself with a dull tool. I mean, a lot of times
it's terrible.
You cut yourself with one of these, you don't know until you notice your wood, and it's like, how'd that get there?
Yeah. You say, I got blood on it.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of wood.
Yeah.
But I've just always enjoyed playing with wood. I don't know. It's just something that has always attracted me. Yeah. If I'd go fishing at a creek, it's like I'd find a stick, find something creative to do with it. Just in my nature. Couldn't help it. So as I got older, I would buy better quality knives and whatnot. And
did you cut like spears at first?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Spears, arrowheads,
yeah.
Made little log cabins, just wherever the imagination would take you.
Yeah.
And you just get real relaxed when you're messing with natural things.
Yeah. Wood.
whittle wood.
Whittle wood away. Yeah, that's amazing. So, as a little kid, you get into this. Did you get any friends involved with it? Did your friends do it as well, or were you the only one that was really into it?
My buddies all carried knives, and we all hacked on sticks, whatever we could find, and have a productive purpose in mind. It's just something to do. The first piece that I actually carved before I started actively wood carving, my mother-in-law had an antique dresser, and it had wooden drawer pulls.
Yeah.
And the drawer pulls were, I don't know if they were oak leaves or grape leaves, whatever, and looked like a walnut on it, and it was missing one. It's like, I can't put brass hardware on an antique. It just would kill my soul. So I told my wife, I said, let me work on it. I can carve it. So it had to be walnut, of course, couldn't be a softwood. So with a utility knife, a pocket knife, and a steak knife, I carved a drawer pull, and I would defy you to this day to be able to identify which one it is.
Wow, yeah.
It took me forever, but it's just fun. It just, if you have stress in your life, playing with sharp tools is the way to go. People will leave you alone.
Right. I would say that. I was going to say that. I said, yeah, you won't have any stress if you have sharp tools. Nobody would bother you.
No, it's just very therapeutic, and we love it. Like I said, teaching it is more fun in my book than actually doing it. I mean, I love doing it, but
I was going to say that. I'm sure you've seen people work their first works of art. I'm sure you've seen that over the years, and see them get into it and graduate from a little thing like that to this. I mean, this is an integral pattern. Very. I mean, the geometry of this is wow. Not something that I could do.
Yeah, you could.
Funk geometry.
Yeah, you could. Most of the cuts are 2- and 3-sided. It's ridiculously simple, but it requires a lot of practice.
Yeah, I'm just amazed. Wow, I mean, this is really, really neat. Now, we talked about the painting of it, and you said you paint a little, some of it. You don't do a lot of the stuff. What determines? I think I want to paint this piece.
Well, a lot of it will be determined if you see it in here and you like it painted, you'll paint it.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find a good illustration here, but you just need to come down to the Art Association. That would be a good example.
Yeah. That's.
So the lighthouse that I painted for my wife, she saw at the Dayton Carving Show, and she says, I need you to do that. I was like, okay. So the gentleman that had that pattern also had that one. So it's like I bought the pattern and took it home and did it. And I said, do you want it painted? She said, yes. So I painted it. So and it looks very good, if I do say so.
Now, do you draw your own patterns, or
I have?
You have.
Okay. I have. My theory on that is, I'd much rather spend my time carving it than drawing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've drawn some barns, I've drawn some seascapes and whatnot, but I haven't done a lot of drawing since high school, and that's half a century ago, so a little rusty. Yeah. So if I could buy a pattern to expedite the process, get it on the wood, just get you carving faster.
Right, yeah. And I wondered, because I have zero art. I mean, my stick figures are terrible.
Okay.
And so that's why I was wondering, how artistic. But if you're going by patterns, I think I can paint by numbers.
One of the gentlemen in our clubs who started in '89, he says he has a problem with depth perception. Yeah. So he's always wanted to do relief carving. Yeah. It's like, well, we can teach you that. So you need to come down and see a couple of his displays at the Art Association. I was going to ask about this. When I looked at this mushroom, this is mushroom, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. Make sure. Because to me, it's a microphone. Yeah. Hey, how are you? Everything's a microphone. Gotcha.
Now, when this could also be like one of those trees. That's why I wasn't sure, but to me, it's a microphone. Everything's a microphone. I thought there would be like a hole down here, because I thought maybe you might have put the wood on something and spun it. But no, this is something flat that you just a plain bench knife. That's all it took. Yeah. It was 2x2 in a previous life. Yeah. Wow. Really? Yeah. Wow. This was a 2x2. Wow. And it turned into a mushroom or a microphone. No, people always want to buy that off the table. It's like, I'm not going to sell it to you, but I'll teach you how to do it for free. How long did it take you to do something like this one? Oh, probably got 6 hours in that, maybe. Yeah. And of course you sand the stem. Yeah, sanding. Well, this kind of doesn't feel sanded, but it does at the same time. It doesn't feel as...
It's been handled so many times, most of the roughness is rubbed off.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it doesn't feel as rough as it looks. There's that, I guess, that illusion where you'd feel like it looked, which is nice. Yeah, very good work.
Thank you.
Very good work. So how many, if you could, I don't know if you've kept track of it or not, but how many pieces have you done in your life?
I know Christmas time is crazy busy for me. I do a lot of ornaments. I know one year between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I carved close to 100 ornaments just in that time span.
Yeah.
And I was working at Grandview Pharmacy at the time, gave them to all my driver's staff, the pharmacy staff, customers come in, total strangers.
Yeah.
And they really like them. And it doesn't, for the most part, it doesn't take real long to carve a lot of ornaments.
Yeah.
Some of them can be done in a half an hour, some of them more intricate,
Right.
but I would say in the thousands.
Wow. Yeah.
And I've given away 95% of them. I've got one tote that I carry around to display shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's all down at the Art Association right now.
And when you go to the shows, do you guys trade them or you just display them just to appreciate them?
We display them in hopes of getting people to come and learn to do it.
Yeah.
We want to share the love, and people just don't understand until you do it how relaxing and therapeutic it is.
Yeah. And so let's say like that young man who's working on his project. So he starts, and how much does it cost to start?
We'll give you half a dozen lessons for free. After that, we would like you to join the Whitewater Valley Arts Association, which is we're an arm of that organization. And I think a student membership, I want to say, is $10. A individual membership, I think, is $25, and I think family is like $30.
Is that yearly or monthly?
Yearly.
Yeah, well, that's
it's dirt cheap.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that is dirt cheap. Yeah, wow. And so he's obviously maybe a member. I don't know if he is that, but so is all the wood supplied for him, or
initially we'll supply the tools, the wood, the pattern. We recommend people don't buy tools until you see what works, because there's so much diversity in the tools. You've got the mallet tools with the big handles. You've got palm tools. And then you've got the micro tools that I showed you.
Yeah, I was going to say, this show goes so fast. We didn't really get into all the other tools that you use, because I mean there's so much, like, wow, that is
for carving the bowl of a spoon.
Like
Are you right-handed?
Yeah, I'm right-handed.
Okay, let's try it. It's this easy. Just keep your thumb below the plane, so if it does slip, you're not going to nail it. So you're just going to take it.
Oh, you're really cutting?
Yeah. Try it, and just, I'll lay it down.
Okay.
It's safer to pick it up that way than try to hand it off.
Well, here we go. We'll see.
So just put your thumb below the plane of the thing and just draw it towards you.
Oh, wow. This is...
Isn't that therapeutic?
You know what? I like this.
Okay. Well, I'm going to see you down there on Monday night then, right?
Just
show up.
I might have to do it.
You can apologize later.
Yeah, I like this because I could.
And that's what it takes. If people will we just tell them, just show up. So you get a block of wood in their hand, you get a tool in their hand, and...
I know John's probably back there thinking, man, I hope he doesn't cut his throat.
I got Band-Aids.
Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, because as I'm doing this, I'm like, okay, maybe I want to smooth that out a little bit. You're right.
You're right.
You're right, John.
I wouldn't do that with your thumb, though.
No, yeah, I see, yeah. This is you're right. Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Hand it to you the sharp way. He's an amateur.
The thing with keeping the tools sharp is your blades have to be protected. Every tool in my box cannot touch another tool, because just touching a piece of metal will scar that blade.
Yeah.
And it'll leave a white streak in whatever you carve.
Well, this is amazing. Just that little bit of wood that I whittled away on your spoon.
Let's put it in here with the rest of them.
We'll put it there in the rest of and I'm sure those shavings can probably be a part of a new project.
I have a wood stove. Those are called fire starters.
Oh, okay. Well, in this cold, you need it. So, John, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
30 minutes goes by fast. I wish we could have more time. Yeah.
Wow.
We can.
So carving, same way.
Yeah. Where do we get to yet?
jdcarves2 at yahoo.com, or come see us at the Art Association Monday nights from 6 to 8, or Wednesday afternoons 2 to 6. We'd love to have you.
Go check that guy out, and we'll catch you out next month on The Spot.